There's been a lot of talk about people being arrested. Tom Homan wants this guy arrested. Everybody wants Gavin Newsom arrested. And I still want to see Fauci and Mayorkas cracking rocks upstate. But imagine a scenario, my friends, where the Trump administration actually moves to arrest Dr. Anthony Fauci and Governor Gavin Newsom of California. It would involve a dramatic escalation of, political movements, tensions, blending real-world dynamics, folks, with kind of like imaginary kind of what-if outcomes based on current events and rhetoric, I guess. Think about this. As of today, the idea stems from recent public exchanges where President Trump has suggested support for arresting Newsom, citing his handling of riots in Los Angeles and long-standing conservative criticisms of Fauci as part of a deep state conspiracy. Now, while no concrete actions have been taken heretofore, this hypothetical scenario can be constructed and construed by analyzing the context, the potential logistics, how this would be done, the visual spectacle, and the symbolic messaging. The scene of arrest would be beautiful. The arrest of Dr. Anthony Fauci might unfold in Washington, given his role as a former high-profile government scientist. Picture a beautiful morning, a crisp morning at his home, maybe early in the morning, maybe a la Roger Stone, 4 a.m. ninja attack. Maybe a discreet office where he might be working post-retirement or whatever it is, counting his millions. Federal agents, possibly from the Department of Justice or a specially deputized task force, under Border Czar Tom Homan's direction. They would arrive in unmarked SUVs. The scene would be tense, but orderly. Agents in dark suits, perhaps some wearing quasi-military outfits, wearing earpieces, approaching with a warrant. And Fauci, a figure known for his calm demeanor, might emerge with a look of disbelief, of horror, perhaps clutching a stethoscope or a caduceus. Agents would be reading charges aloud. The charges could allege obstruction of justice, perjury, misuse of federal funds tied to conspiracy allegations about his NIH tenure. Though evidence would be interesting and certainly contested. Media helicopters would circle overhead, capturing the moment for live broadcasts with pundits speculating on the legal bases. Protesters, some waving American flags and others holding signs reading "Deep State Exposed," gathering quickly, clashing with counter-demonstrators, chanting "Free Fauci." The visual is chaotic but beautiful and splendid, yet staged, with a heavy police presence to manage the crowd, suggesting a calculated move to project some form of authority. In California, it would be a little different, wouldn't it? Gavin Newsom. It would be a much better... Oh, God. Just imagine that. Given his status as a sitting governor, imagine a sunny afternoon in Sacramento, outside the state capitol. Federal agents all of a sudden just swarm, accompanied by National Guard troops, federalized by Trump, storming the premises. And Newsom, known for his gelled hair and his polished public image. He might be mid-press conference, pointing defiantly at the camera. When agents interrupt, presenting a warrant for obstructing immigration enforcement or maybe inciting unrest during the Los Angeles riots, who knows? The scene will be dramatic. Agents in tactical gear escorting Newsom out. His suit, his look, a tad disheveled, and that look of fear in his face. It's happening. The state troopers stand by, unsure of their role, of their status. Supporters and opponents would flood the streets. Newsom's allies would wave signs, "Hands off our governor," while Trump supporters, myself included, would be cheering, looking on, lock him up. Lock him up. Throw away the key. No justice, no peace. The Capitol steps would become a battleground of ideology with smoke from nearby protests adding to the cinematic chaos. Oh, it'd be delicious. Newsom's arrest would be broadcast live, I would imagine. His final words, perhaps a call to resist authoritarianism or something, echoing as he's led to a waiting vehicle. The process and appearance, the logistics would involve swift, coordinated strikes to avoid legal challenges. For Fauci, agents might detain him under a hastily assembled, executive order perhaps, something bypassing traditional judicial oversight. Due process, those are for peasants. The same due process he gave you, the same due process he showed the country. You could be claiming national security. It would be a move that critics would scream about and yell and decry as being unconstitutional. He could be transported to a federal holding facility, maybe a FEMA camp, maybe escorted or flown to some abandoned Air Force base that has loads of room. Maybe in Virginia, Colorado, who knows? Media tracking the convoy. The appearance would be one of a government finally flexing its muscle against a fraud, against a tyrant, a medical fascist. With his age and stature, 79, amplifying the optics of overreach, one would claim. It doesn't matter. They didn't care about Trump's age. His defense team likely assembling a host of constitutional lawyers, Norm Eisen and the usual suspects. They would immediately seek some type of habeas, some type of release, an injunction, creating a legal firestorm. Bring it on, we'd say, bring it on. And then Pam Bondi and others would unleash her coterie, her team of notables. Newsom's arrest would face immediate resistance from California's legal system. Agents might even face a standoff with state police, I don't know. Might get rough, might get angry, might get dirty. You know what I mean? When you want to make an omelet, you got to break a few eggs. It might require Trump to invoke some kind of emergency powers to federalize local forces. The procession to a federal detention center would be beyond glorious. Perhaps in San Diego, I don't know. It would be heavily guarded with Newsom's team live streaming the event to rally support. Beautiful. And the visual contrast. Newsom's, that demeanor of his, that cool demeanor, or ostensibly cool. I don't mean cool in a good sense. He wouldn't know what to do. The rough handling of federal agents. He would look at you like you don't understand. I'm Gavin Newsom. You don't do this to me. You didn't mind when Trump was seized. Well, that was different, you thought. No, it's not. They would paint a picture of him as some state legislator, some leader under siege, politically galvanizing the Democratic resistance. They'd be going crazy on CNN. Oh, can you imagine Caitlin Collins? Oh my God, she'd have a conniption, whatever the hell that is. The use of National Guard troops already deployed in Los Angeles. Oh, it would lend a beautiful militarized air. Reminiscent, dear friends, of historical events. Interventions like the 1960s civil rights clashes. And the message to the deep state would be absolutely clear, loud and clear. The Trump administration's messaging would be unmistakable. A declaration that no one, regardless of status, is above the law if they oppose the president's agenda. In the press conference, Trump might stand flanked by Tom Homan, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, asserting we're cleaning house. Fauci and Newsom today, Mayorkas tomorrow. The deep state thought they could hide, but we're coming for them, as we promised, as you demanded. And the rhetoric would target perceived entrenched bureaucracies and bureaucrats and political elites, framing the arrests as a purge of disloyalty. Oh my God, Homan might add, quote, if you obstruct our immigration enforcement or spreading lies, you'll face justice. If you spread misinformation, disinformation, bad information, no exceptions. The broadcast would be seen on Truth Social and Fox News or Trump allies, amplifying it as a victory over a shadowy cabal. Oh my God, dear friends, the symbolic intent. The event would be so beautiful. It would intimidate the deep state, the shadow government, the ruling class. those people who defined Trump, who came after our president. Is it beyond possibilities? Absolutely not. Is it beyond the realm of usual? Well, I wouldn't bet on it, but it can be done. And unless and until somebody from that particular faction, somebody from those groups, unless and until they crack rocks upstate, unless and until they find themselves the object and the focus of our legal system, we are just wasting our time, spinning our wheels. It's that simple. That simple, my friends. Now, dear friends, dear, great and glorious and beauteous and wonderful and fantastic friends, I say to you, thank you. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for following this. And thank you for holding out with me that one day we're going to see justice. We're going to see justice. Is it vengeance? You betcha. You betcha. Is this payback? Absolutely. And don't forget the great words of Jack Reacher. Remember, you wanted this. That's precisely what we're going to be doing. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. Thank you so much for watching us. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. Make sure you subscribe to Lionel Nation. And above all, I beg, beseech, importune, and implore you to comment and answer the questions I propose. Comment as you see fit.